like people say, well, what business do you have coming in here talking about science and all that? You're an actor. You want to know what my first patent was? The entire AR VR world was built off of my first patent that was abandoned because I paid $260,000 for the worldwide patent. But then my agents kept, my lawyers kept sending me these maintenance fees and annuities. And I'm like, these folks are just trying to shake me down. I'm not going to pay it.
Hold on. Did he just say he paid $250,000 for a patent? Hey, if you guys don't know, welcome to Everything Intellectual Property. I react to this Terrence Howard interview that has been going viral on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was on there recently. And hey, man, as an intellectual property attorney who's been doing this for almost 10 years, dealing with everything from patents to trademarks to trade secrets, NIL, it's a few things I've heard that was the issue with this first statement. Number one, again, yes, for all of us who know, patents can get expensive. But if you're telling me, and again, I've seen the expensive side of things. If you're telling me you spent $250,000 on one patent, well, again, I don't know. I guess he said that he patented the whole VR AR universe, which is another issue. If you talk about you patent all of this stuff, that's a red flag to me. But if you're saying that you spent $250,000 on one patent, I'm going to say that you got screwed. Now, I'm not going to say he got screwed on this one. I'm gonna just say he's embellishing a little bit. But let's get back to it and see what he's saying. And then my thoughts again.
Well, a year later, if you pull up my World of Windows patent, I think it's one of the first patents up there. I want you to see where your AR VR world came from and look at the list of companies that has cited and didn't just cite it. They built their entire AR VR world off of my World of Windows patent. Can you pull that up, Jamie? Of the computer. Yeah, it's the very, not that one. Yeah, that's the propulsion patent. No. That's all you have, huh? Really?
Gotta get the.
If you can go to
the receipt.
Terry's linchpin, I'll show you on here. This is what this is.
He came with receipts.
Is that online? This is online.
Text me that link and I'll just send it.
Yeah.
You got it?
You got it.
Okay.
So merging virtual reality. It says merging virtual reality with reality. Go down. Patents and files. The very first one. Tap on that. So you go look over to, you'll see my name, inventor, Terrence Howard. Worldwide application. Let's just read the abstract just so they.
System and method for merging virtual reality and reality. Scroll up to provide an enhanced sensory experience. A system and method of merging virtual reality sensory detail from a remote site into a room environment at a local site. The system preferably includes at least one image server, a plurality of image collection devices, a display system comprising display devices, a control unit, digital processor, and a viewer position detector. The control unit preferably receives the viewer position information and transmits instructions to the digital processor. The digital processor preferably processes source data representing an aggregated field of view from the image capturing devices in accordance with the instructions received from the control unit and outputs the refined data representing a desired display view to be displayed on one or more display devices wherein the viewer position detector dynamically determines the position of the viewer in the room environment and changes the desired display view corresponding to position changes of the viewer.
Now you see
this is all you.
Yeah, look at the inventor. Go up a little bit. Slide over. It says Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Worldwide patent 2010. It was abandoned. Now go to cited by. You see that 131?
Hold on. Look at man. So you can't really see this. So I'm gonna pull it up on my screen. Hey, because when you talking about patents, that's my game right there. And if anything, Terrence Howard needs to give his attorney some kudos, because that's what I hear this all the time. Let me put the screen on back on me for a second before we look through the patent. I hear this all the time when I draft a patent application from an inventor. They're like, man, they're blown away on how intelligent I have made them sound, because again, a patent language is a different language, and the way we're putting things together and drafting a patent application, you're going to sound extremely sophisticated as you're an inventor. If you're an inventor reading this patent, like, man, so that's what Joe Rogan is saying. What? This is crazy, man. This is all you right here. But again, he has to give shout outs to the patent attorney at that point, because I've been in that situation where somebody's reading a patent application like, man, I sound a lot smart doing this. And not saying that Terrence Howard is not smart and he doesn't know his stuff, but just in terms of the way we write as patent attorneys, we make this document sound very sophisticated, sound very like, okay, this person has a intellectual awareness about themselves. So let me kind of go to the screen here so we can go through this patent. So he said he has a worldwide patent. That's not true. So again, to his credit, it does say his name, inventor Terrence Howard, Deshaun Howard. So it does list him as an individual inventor, which is a cool thing. Man, everything that he wrote in the abstract. And again, this was filed in 2010. So let's back up a little bit. First and foremost, do you guys think that augmented reality, virtual reality had just come into form in 2010, or do you think that this thing was way before then? I know the Pokemon game, what was that, like 2008? This was big when I was in like college or something. Maybe that was after 2008. But again, newsflash, AR VR has been around for a long time. He didn't create the AR VR universe first and foremost. So let me clear that up right now. And again, essentially everything that Joe Rogan read in the abstract is Again, it sounds fancy because that's the patent attorney job to make this document sound fancy. And that's just kind of the way we write as the patent attorney. But all that stuff is definitely nothing new. So I guess going down here, he doesn't have a worldwide patent. There's no such thing as a worldwide patent, which I tell people all the time. There's no one-stop shop where you're going to get a patent that covers everything in the world. First of all, he said two things wrong there. Number one, he said he has a worldwide patent, but then number two, he said the patent was abandoned. He never had a patent on this. As you see here, the status is, let me go to, as you see here on the right-hand side, the status was abandoned. Blow this up a little bit. There you go. You see that the status was abandoned and it was filed again April 22nd in 2010. And it was given obviously a serial number, but it was never issued into a patent. If it was issued into a patent, it would have the patent number. It would say granted, and it would have the U.S. patent number on here. But again, this is just a U.S. What we're looking at here is a U.S. publication. This is not a worldwide patent. He didn't even file a PCT application. And again, I'm gonna give him some credit because again, this stuff can get very convoluted and complex, especially when you're not in the world and don't understand the lingo. So I'm gonna just say, okay, maybe he was kind of speaking out of turn. So. But again, I don't want you guys to be confused. Like, man, Terrence going around talking about Terrence Howard had this worldwide patent that they got over on him on. Number one, he didn't have any patent. It was filed in April 22nd, 2010, and it was abandoned. Again, it was abandoned 6 months later, which goes to show you, this is the crazy thing is, when you file a patent application, typically it doesn't even get picked up until a year and a half, 2 years later. Interestingly enough, his case was abandoned 6 months later. Now, I'm not going to say that it wasn't any. That's very interesting. Typically, it'll go through prosecution. It'll have some type of office action that's issued. Which again, that office action is issued 2 years later in a lot of cases. Definitely not 6 months later, unless it's he filed for expedited prosecution. But again, the fact that it was abandoned 6 months after filing, that's very interesting because you don't see that too often. But let's go back up to the patent before we get back to the interview here. So again, no such thing as a worldwide patent. You have to file a patent in each country that you want to go in. You can't file what is called a PCT application, which is kind of give you rights in the PCT stands for Paris Cooperation Treaty, and all the member countries of that PCT Paris Cooperation Treaty. I guess you get, what's the best way to explain it? You essentially get filing rights in those countries. But again, you still have to go file individually in those countries that you want patent protection in. It's just not like, okay, you filed a PCT application to get worldwide protection in all these countries. No, you have to go file an application at some point in time. We call it nationalizing it. You have to go file a patent application. If you want it in China, you have to go in China. If you want a patent rights in Canada, you have to go to Canada. If you want patent rights in Germany, you have to file in Germany. In China, you have to file in China. Each country that's a member to the PCT, you have to file individually in that country. There's no such thing as you're going to file a PCT application that's going to issue it to a worldwide patent. So just trying to clear up some of these crazy things that Terrence Howard was saying. Again, like I said, I'm going to tell him, I'm going to give him that he just don't know the lingo, and I ain't going to hold him his feet to the fire for that. But